welcome back. Thanks for tuning in and watching the Cypress Sports Show, brought to you by Coach's Corner, your go-to spot before and after the game. I'm Jeff Russell here with Mark Slevcove. Today, we're going to talk to head football coach Rick Feldman on this year's team, the new league, and of course, the new field. That will be a topic as well. And we'll check in with Mr. Pfeiffer in his segment, 54 Seconds with 5-4, sponsored by our new sponsor, Destination Jiu-Jitsu. So should be a good, exciting time for us here. We are getting going this year. We've got a few games so far. What do we have as a sports update? Definitely as we get rolling.
That's right. We've had some teams that haven't started competition yet, and others like girls volleyball that are 7 games into the season. So we are on our way in fall sports. Among those fall sports is second-year team girls flag football. They opened the season last week, beating Los Alamitos 13-0 in the opening game. And then they played St. Joseph's on Monday in the first game on our new turf field out here at Cypress. But unfortunately, we lost that one to what appears to be a very good St. Joseph's team.
And the new turf field, right? Very first game ever played on the turf field. Girls flag football.
Yeah, so who would have guessed that years ago?
Right, and keep that as your memory bank question for later. But we're still waiting for the question of who's going to get the first win. Hopefully, it will be girls flag football, but it could be a freshman
or the first touchdown too, because we got 0 yesterday. We had 0 yesterday. That's Coach Matlock's offensive calls. Just kidding. We'll figure. Girls golf got underway yesterday with a JV tournament on Monday, and dual matches begin next week versus Diamond Bar. We got Tanya Maheshwari returning this year, and based on the results yesterday, we might have a couple freshmen playing varsity as well who were at the tryout and at the tournament yesterday, looking pretty good. Girls volleyball, 7 games in. They won the bronze division of the Lakewood tournament on Saturday. They opened the season last Saturday in the Lakewood tournament going 0-2, but then came back and won both games this Saturday to secure the bronze division. They also had non-league matches in the last 2 weeks with wins over Sonora and St. Joseph, and then we lost to Canyon on Monday at home in 3 games. Girls tennis begins their season this week with matches versus Laguna Hills and Cerritos. Cross country is the last fall sport to begin competition, so they're continuing to train, and their first meet won't happen until September 7th at the Pat Hadley Invite in Placentia's Tri-City Park. Boys water polo team with our new coaching staff is off to a 1-1 start after losing a nail biter to Buena Park last week. And then they got to return the favor to Cal High with the blowout victory. This week will be a busy one for them. They got games against Westminster, and then they travel to South Torrance for a tournament on Friday and Saturday. Well, they'll play 4 games, 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday. And then, of course, our varsity football team, after scrimmaging last week versus Yorba Linda and Brea, the Centurions are ready for Game 1, a Week 0 game versus La Mirada at Handel Stadium on Friday night to open up the season.
Very good. Off and running. Again, football kind of driving it, but we got a lot of volleyball going on, a lot of stuff. With that, it is time to check in with Mr. Pfeiffer in our Destination Jiu-Jitsu segment. 54 seconds with 5-4.
Oh, have a seat. Have a seat. I think I'll take a chair this year.
Join us.
Good to see you guys. It's been a while.
I know. We haven't seen each other for what, 5-6 seconds?
Yeah. We had like an endless summer. It was awesome. I know. Well, that's right. We just saw in the hall. Check it out. New segment. New sponsor, right? Boardwines Jiu-Jitsu, right? He's a sponsor. So I never got a sandwich, right? Coach's Corner. I've had some meals there. It's pretty nice, right?
Yeah.
Turks and Caicos. I need jiu-jitsu camp, right?
Yeah. He offered us to anytime we want to go over and check it out and roll around and do some stuff.
Be fantastic.
He said
great way to work out.
Turks and Caicos.
He said
inclusive paid trip.
He'd put us in a headlock or something out on the beach. That would be the deal.
And then 10 minutes later, I'm at the pool.
Yeah.
That's right.
Why wouldn't we be?
This year, right? 54 seconds with 5-4.
How do you like that?
It's fun, right? It's a little corny, right? 5-4, Pfeiffer, whatever, and then 54. But it opens it up.
Glad we figured it out.
You started it yourself with when you first got here, your email and the little signature thing said 5-4, and everyone's like, why is it 5-4? What is this? And then eventually it clicks, and
you can only think of one other person that has a name that they could use a number. One other person.
Oh, one.
5'4" and
With the jersey and one leg.
we're excited.
We just got canceled.
we just listen. We got a great. It opens us up, right? 54 seconds, or 5 events to talk about with 4 different athletes. Something. The world is our oyster.
Endless possibilities.
Endless, like the endless summer.
What is this week's possibility?
What a segue.
So, coming back into all these seasons, we got to roll with some athletes, go out there and talk with them, right? How'd you spend your endless summer, right? That classic movie, Mike, they're chasing the perfect wave, right? Tahiti.
None of these
Senegal.
kids know what that is, but okay.
Some of them did, actually.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they kind of, they got it. But then the whole chasing thing. So we got to talk to Feldman. We got to talk to football. We got to talk to a bunch of different people and ask them, what was your endless summer? What were you chasing? How were you preparing for this year? So we're looking forward to this segment, and it's good to be back. Good to see you guys. Thanks.
Cypress High School 54 with 54. Check it out. Gentlemen, welcome back to school, right? Cypress High School, here we are. 54 with 54. 54 with 54. Check it out. Krebs, right? You ever seen the movie? Cypress High School, here we are. 54 seconds with 54. Check it out. 54 with 54. Check it out. We're here with Cobley, right? Track coach extraordinaire, ASB director. Cypress High School, here we are. 54 with 54 and Feldman. Raise your hand if you're a cousin. Yeah, right here. You ever seen the movie Endless Summer?
No.
Let me explain. 2 surfers chasing the perfect wave. They travel the world. Senegal, Tahiti, right? They're everywhere. Hawaii, right? Chasing that perfect wave.
Yeah.
Right?
I think I saw a rerun on TNT, but I turned the channel.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
What did you guys chase all summer long? Philip.
Oh.
Football, right? You did football.
Yeah.
But
Probably my trip to Europe.
trip to Europe,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So what were you chasing all summer long? What was
A
your
lot of
perfect wave?
history.
My best part of summer was visiting my family up in Mexico.
All family, right?
Going to the beach.
Oh, you're going to the beach.
Going to the beach.
Going on a cruise.
Cruise.
I went to the bay a lot.
The Bay. What Bay?
Long Beach.
The Bay in Long Beach.
Going on just different trips.
Trips. What kind of trips?
Fishing trips. I like fishing.
I try to learn how to surf over summer too.
You know what? Unfortunately for me in the summer, I'm here the whole time.
Chasing
Because
that
I'm
season.
chasing that perfect season. We've come close twice, but we haven't got there yet.
The original Olympic grounds were. I saw the Parthenon, the Acropolis. All those things that you read about in books that that I got to see this summer.
Who's your favorite coach or favorite teacher? What do you think they chased all summer long?
Oh.
What was their joy? What was their perfect wave they were chasing?
Definitely Coach Feldman. He's definitely one of my favorite coaches, one of my favorite teachers too. I feel like he's chasing to have a good football team this year because we've lost a lot of guys. So he's definitely been spending all night trying to get the film ready for our first game.
How to make the team better for the next season.
Some new jokes.
New jokes.
Yeah.
A little stale, right? They're a little old.
Some new food.
New food.
Yeah. Just have fun with the sport.
Coach was out there chasing, having fun with the sport, running around with flags.
Yeah.
What?
Just, I don't know, making sure we're gonna be good. Yeah.
I don't want to chase it, I want to catch it.
Yeah.
That perfect season.
Check it out. Well said, Coach.
Hey, all right. Today we welcome our head football coach, Rick Feldman, to the program. Coach, thanks for coming back. I know you love this.
Always a pleasure.
What year is this for you, Coach?
Year 11.
Year 11.
Year 11.
All-time winningest head football coach at Cypress High. More victories than anybody. Been around a long time now.
Yeah.
It might be the longest tenured, right? Not only most winningest, but most winningest. The
Longest tenured as a football coach.
longest tenured as a football coach.
Yeah.
I think Cypress High history has to be probably a couple years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that it is.
So, you coach the longest, you're probably going to end up with the most wins.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're still here.
Still at it.
Still here. Well, Coach, I mean, obviously, beginning of the school year, we always say football kind of drives the bus, right? There's a lot of excitement that comes out of the football season, that we get going right away. We have the 0-week game. How is that general excitement over the new year right now?
Yeah, it's always excited. We're fired up. everything's kind of new out there, and we open up Friday with a game that we feel like if we play really well, we have a chance to win. And that'd be a great way to get the year started for us for sure, and the school.
And we open up with La Mirada, who we played last year, right? They were going through field construction last year. Their stadium wasn't open. Now it's so we played at John Glenn High School, I think, right? Last year against La Mirada. Norwalk High School. And now we're under construction, so we'll talk about the field in a second. But what do we know about La Mirada in the second year that we're playing?
They're going to be similar to how they were last year. They got a lot of experience coming back, and their coach does a really good job. We're going to have to, and it's going to be a recurring theme for us this year, is if we make mistakes, we're going to be in trouble, and especially in game one. A lot of times that comes down to not necessarily who's better, but who makes the least amount of mistakes. Tends to win that game, whether it's turnovers or mistakes on plays. If you can avoid those things, you're going to be able to stay in the game most times.
Now, last week you guys had your scrimmage against Yorba Linda,
right? Where
you always hope to work out some of those kinks, right?
Right.
I'm sure there's things that we want to get better at as we look forward to this game, knowing that it's a tough team to open up with in a 0-week game, not having that extra maybe week of preparations. There's things that you do different when you have a 0-week game than you would with the regular first-week game?
We start a little earlier, and I think that we start preparing in the summer because we know it's going to be, and especially we start school so early, we don't have that double days opportunity. And you're allowed 25 practice opportunities before game one, and we get like 19.
Yeah.
So we start preparing in the summer for what we saw from them last year, get some other films on them from last year. And now, of course, we're using their scrimmage film to get ready for Friday.
So our practices this fall, right, when we came back for our 19 practices, just about all of them were on the new turf field out there. What does it feel like to be out on the turf?
It's kind of funny because you feel like, and I've mentioned this to people, is like for a while the turf, and it's cool and the whole 9 yards. And then by about the third practice, it feels like you've kind of always been on it. Like it's almost, we're taking it for granted already. But the one thing, when we do all of our different team periods, we have 6 of them. We do one over in the corner of the end zone here, one over on the other side of the field, and now we don't do any of that. We just put the ball down wherever we want to go. So a lot of people take that for granted. I don't take that for granted. That makes me excited.
Right, because, I can imagine 2 things, right? We'll go with that. You don't have to worry about the grass. You're standing in one spot or doing the drills in one thing, which is why you had to move around a lot. Right now, you don't really have to do that. But that first time walking out, you're walking out to the field and you're like, oh my God, like this, it's happened,
yeah.
Field, and I don't have to wash my socks every day. I got to empty some things out of my shoes, but I don't have to wash my socks every day. It's got to be a nice feeling.
Oh yeah, I'll take the emptying out of the shoes. And yeah, it's nice to not be on dirt, and pretty soon we're going to have lights and stands, and it's great to be able to practice on it. I can't wait until it's all complete. Like, it's going to be great for soccer season. I'm happy for those kids. I'm a little jealous, but I'm happy. That's going to be awesome to be able to practice at night, play at night. Hopefully we'll get to play there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see if there's going to be enough space ultimately for a varsity football game, for sure. All right, how about the guys returning? Going through the Orange County Register, they had their impact players in Orange County. I think we had one kid on there in Logan Kennedy as a punter/kicker, but he's also going to play wide receiver. So is he going to be our best player this year? What do we expect out of?
Well, he's going to be one of them. Matthew Baldonado made the top 150.
Got it. Baldonado as well, the defensive back.
Yeah. Right. So Logan kind of became our top receiver last year at the end of the year because he kept torching he was on our scout team and our blue defense, first string defense was out there, and he kept getting open and making catches. But are we dumb? We got to get him out there. And he came through, and he had a really good summer, and he's been booming the ball. So yeah, he's going to be, we have a few best players. He's definitely one of them, and he has to have a huge year for us to have success for sure, as does Matthew Baldonado.
All right, Matthew Baldonado. I think he was Defensive Back of the Year in the Empire League, and now he's coming back. He's big play guy, big play kid.
Big play kid, and we have a few of them. We're relying on a bunch of sophomores to step up and be really good this year. And it's not that we're super young, but we're kind of inexperienced at the varsity level. Not that many guys have a lot of experience, and they're going to need to step up and play like we think they can. Kind of like the little recurring theme has been, you need to play better than you are. So you're a really good player, but we need you to make that unbelievable diving catch, to leave your feet and tackle somebody or break up a pass. You have to go above and beyond what we are for us to have success against this schedule this year.
Go ahead. Now,
we're just going to back that up with, you had some, with that said, stepping up, you had really good leadership last year. When you look at the guys that you had, how do you overcome losing them? And then how do you get the new returning guys to step up to the roles of those leaders from last year?
Well, of course, our biggest leader last year was Aiden Houston, to nobody's surprise, right? And how do you replace that leadership and that talent and ability? You don't. It has to be a cumulative effect from the team, and the current seniors need to step up and be those leaders and push those young guys and lead by example more than anything else. And that's still a work in progress.
Yeah. Do you ever reflect back to that when you're asking them to do those extra things, be better, right? Do you say, last year, these things you were really good at, here's some things that those other guys did really good, and I think you can do those types of things? Or do you just look at them individually this year?
I try hard not to compare my current team to former teams, because I'm not sure that's fair to the current team. So compare yourself to yourself and not to them, and keep trying to get better. Don't be satisfied with, I'm pretty good. Hustle everywhere. You have to make the extra effort. Again, I'm going back to the schedule again. We have to be great at everything.
Right, and when you talk about our schedule, our non-league schedule is mostly the same as last year. I know we had to switch El Medina. El Medina went from a non-league game to a league game, but we got La Mirada, Lawndale, Corona Del Mar, Tesoro. I'm missing one again in the Mayfair, right? In the non-league games, and then of course the new league, the Delta League, which is pretty much close to the top in Orange County for the public schools.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal. We're used to having some games that we think are fairly winnable, to now we're looking at games where a lot of them are 50-50, and a lot of them were considered the underdog.
Well, and I think if right now on paper, according to Orange County Register, they have their top 25, and all 6 schools in the Delta League, I said Empire League, Delta League, are in the top 25, but we're number 25, and everyone else is ahead of us to start the season.
And on paper, that's probably what it should be. But lucky for us, you don't play those games on paper.
Yeah,
that's right.
When you look at that re-leaguing process, ultimately now, those 5 teams, if you win the league, it's like winning the CIF championship the way they did the re-leaguing for football, because they take those rankings. What didn't you like about it? Because I know there's maybe things you like about competitive equity, but there's got to be some things maybe you don't like about it as well.
It's hard. It's hard for them. I get it. And I don't know what else you go on, but you have programs that do things different ways. And our program, we take who comes to us and we just go with it. And when you have a program like that, you're going to have some cycles where you're really successful, and then you're going to have some rebuilding cycles. And then there are other teams in these leagues that do whatever they can, whatever it takes, to get as many good players as they can, and they stay at that level. So in our case, and we'll see what happens, and not just our case, there are a lot of public schools that are like us, that they might have had some success, and then they're rebuilding and they're in this tough league, and then they have some struggles in that tough league, and they go down, and now they have a team that could compete in that tough league, but they're in a lower league. And I think that's not what CIF's point was when they did this.
Still got to catch the cycle at the right time.
And how do you do that? Yeah. Do you go, school X just got 3 great transfers and it's July 15th? Let's change the league again because now they have 3. It's impossible. You couldn't do that.
Right.
So I think they're doing the best they can with what they have, and we just have to adjust the best we can.
Competitive equity is the big deal, but we do lose out on some of the geographic rivalries throughout the county, right? We lose the Kennedy game. That matchup doesn't happen anymore. I know there's some other ones around the county. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out in the Delta League. How about some of the other guys? We mentioned Matthew Baldonado and Logan Kennedy. Who else should we keep an eye on? Maybe those senior leaders that you're expecting to step up their leadership and play, or maybe some of the young guys that are going to be making their first appearance in varsity.
Kyrie Lewis, our offensive tackle, is a senior, and he played a lot last year, and he was hurt some last year, and just a brand new level of confidence and leadership that makes me excited for him and helps us with our offensive line, which is somewhere we have to really improve at. We have Jaden Anthony as a sophomore corner / running back. Makai Felix, Brody Lindner is a linebacker. Garrison M.
Yeah, say that last name.
Is a big sophomore kid. We're going to play a lot of sophomores. Elijah Ashcraft. I'm just trying to think of who else. Aaron Lamuel is a senior. We're going to be relying on him on the line. And Shane Pufford, who is a senior. If you would have told me 2 years ago that he's going to start at center and be one of the leaders on the offensive line, I would have thought you were crazy. And he just physically and mentally matured and turned into somebody that we're relying on.
He'll run through a wall for you. He's a program kid for sure.
He is. And Kieran Edmondson has won the quarterback job for now. It's a big competition that will go on all year, but he's had some real effective points in the summer, and he was good in the scrimmage last week. Am I missing anybody? Oh, shoot, Junior Massey and Tynoa Allen are going to be bookend defensive ends. We're excited about them. They're big, strong kids who are physical. We got transfer running back DB Bryson Busby, who ran really well in the scrimmage last week. I'm sure there's guys I'm missing, but there's a handful that we're excited about.
How about Jason Sparks? Is he one of your senior leadership guys?
He's the senior leader. Yeah. Sorry, Jason. Sorry, Wendy. Don't quit.
I was going to say, keep Wendy happy. Don't mess that up.
Oh, Jason's great. He's great on both sides of the ball. He's a leader. He's that guy that hurts his shoulder, and where a lot of guys would say, oh, my shoulder kind of hurts, coach. Jason's running around with one arm and not saying a word. And we have to pull him off the field. So he's great. Thanks for mentioning that.
Well, we're excited about watching you guys play in the challenge at the new league. It's going to be fun to watch. At this point, we are at the fast action question time. Right. You're used to these. All right, you ready?
Practice. Yeah.
You cheated and looked at a couple, but all right. One thing you're going to miss about the Empire League.
I did see that one. It's the only one I saw. And believe me, I've been thinking about that for a while, so that's not shocking to me. I'm going to miss the rivalries. More than anything, I miss the rivalries. We don't play Kennedy this year. We don't play Pacifica this year. We don't play Crean this year. I'm not so sad about that. But if you ask me just one thing, it would be the rivalries for sure.
And all those games and all that time, what's your favorite memory of the Empire League? What are you going to remember from that?
I think that in 2019, when it wasn't that close a game, but we beat Pacifica to go 10-0 and win, since I've been the head coach, our first Empire League championship. Probably the best memory of the Empire League for me.
Nice. Walking out on the field and going back to that, first thing you thought of when your feet hit the ground on the new turf field, was it, thank goodness we have a field goal post?
It was really hot that day. My first thought was, I wonder what the wet bulb says.
That's a whole new thing. Honestly, we were just looking at it all. Yeah.
No, but the first thought was, even though I'd been on it a few times and like it's finally here, I can't believe it. Wow. Look at it. Look at the way we're lining up. Our kids' stuff isn't going to be all dirty. Yeah. My stuff isn't going to be all dirty. This is awesome.
Very cool. Some don't know when you were younger, you played basketball.
Yeah.
Some know that, some don't. I know other sports as well, but let's just say basketball. If you could dunk, what kind of dunk would you do now? If you could dunk now, what would you do?
If I could dunk now.
If he can dunk now, that's implying he could dunk then.
I could dunk not implying way back in the day.
Just tennis ball, maybe.
I would be, you know what? You know me. It ain't the show. Right?
Let me just get just a regular dunk.
A regular dunk,
Regular
but like
reverse.
I'd want to take off from the top of the key.
Oh, Michael
How about
Jordan
that?
style.
There you go.
All right. Favorite food after the game, Coach's Corner. What's your go-to?
The sweet chili boneless wings.
Sweet chili boneless wings.
Those are awesome.
What is your main person you chat with on the headset during the game? Who is the main person?
The main person.
Because everyone thinks you're not really talking to anyone, you're just yelling. But there is somebody there listening to you, right? Who's that main person you're talking to?
Who am I talking to or who's listening? That's two different things.
Who do you think you're talking to?
I talk to Crooksy a lot, and mainly I'm on the offensive side when we have the ball, and that's when I'm getting the mask, because Crooksy's getting mad when we're on D. So it's the offensive coaches in general.
Cool.
Probably Ashcraft.
Each year you typically have a slogan or like a mantra for the year. What is it this year?
Play better than you are.
Did you just
Be better than you are? I made it up like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
When I said you have to, like, we don't have a slogan on the back. We still have Neckton going on.
Okay.
But if you're talking about for this year, for me,
Play better than you are.
play better than you are.
I like it. On the way home, we have a victory. We're on the bus on the way home. Is there a team song or a song that you guys sing after a victory?
We have an offensive bus on the way up, a defensive bus on the way back, the Feldman bus, or the offense and defense on the way up. On the way back, we have the Feldman bus, that's the mellow guys, and then Crooksy, you get to enjoy all the rowdy guys. So I don't know what they do on that bus, but my bus sits there and just has conversation.
Nice. Well, hey, thanks a lot for Coach Feldman for being here today. We appreciate you. Thanks to Coach's Corner. Thanks to Destination Jiu-Jitsu, our new sponsor of the year. We look forward to seeing these guys out on the football field. Make sure you guys get out and check them out. If you're coming out to the campus, there is some certain ways to get to the field right now if you're watching like a freshman game or something. So pay attention to that. Make sure that you're following those directions. You are not allowed on the field, so don't go out on the field or anything like that. But definitely get out there, check out the field, check out the team, and support them in all games this year in league and hopefully well into the playoffs. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you guys next week.